Hi there. I don't think we've been formally introduced. My name is Kaneen Mafa. I am a trans person. I don't really consider myself to be a trans person. I consider myself to be more so whole. Lay lim, lay her. Let him, let her. I'm getting ready to turn 48 next year, and I'm in a very good place. There's been some ups and downs because when I was younger, I felt pressured to have a lot of things done to my body. I think I would have been perfectly fine with taking some hormones. I still think I would have ended up getting a sex change. After I got my critical thinking matter, of course, I don't think we should be having any like life changing, irreversible surgeries before the age of 26. Get that critical thinking matter first. Just putting that out there, just my opinion. I wish that I would have gotten less boobs. I wish my boobs were smaller. Now, some of that is just water weight. Like, if I really, really just get serious on a diet, I could burn that off and shrink them girls up a little bit. I could have did without the hips. Now, this is my mama gave me that. That's genetics. But so nothing could be done about it. But I could have did without the hips because when I do get smaller, because I had some help there, it do be looking like I got something in my pocket. I be wanting these to be flatter because sometimes I be liking to look like I be liking for people to look at me and see masculine and feminine. I don't like um just always being put in one box. But for clarity's sake, because I know this conversation will go over a lot of people's heads. I'm not saying that I want to be seen as just a man. I'm saying that I don't always want to be seen as just a woman either. I think when we say he, she, and shim, y'all do it to be derogatory, but I like wholeness. I like being called Brister, which means brother, sister. My Mada, which means mama, daddy, calls me Dawson, which means daughter, son. So I like words that acknowledge my wholeness. Like when I say I don't want to be put in a box, I mean I don't want to be called just this or just that. I want you to acknowledge it all every time. Amen, a woman. I think that privilege is a prison because you have to keep up that same script. You have to keep following that same script. You have to keep moving the same way in order to keep getting that privilege. So, white privilege, there's a script that white people have to follow in order to get that privilege. Male privilege, there's a script that men have to live up to in order to get that privilege. It doesn't just go to there are certain things that's expected from them. Passing privilege, like whether you're passing for white or whether you're passing for female. Or from my trans brothers out there, passing for male. There's certain expectations that go with that. And so privilege can be a prison. Privilege ain't just privilege. It is a prison when you're a person that wants to be freer. I've had a lot of love in my life, and most of my relationships have been with beings who were born with penises, who identified as heterosexual, who saw themselves as men and saw themselves as being the dominant, being the masculine one. And, when I believed in the Christian faith and I practiced that and I was, trying to be like my foremothers and trying to be a virtuous woman and trying to do what the Bible said the best I could, not being born with a vagina. Um, it was hard, when I started to wake up, and I started to want to embrace my wholeness. I started to want to embrace the fathers that lived in me, my grandfather and my great grandfather and my grandmother and my great grandmother. And I wanted to just, weave all of that together. After all, I am a combination of both egg and seed. Collide that egg and seed. That's how they summoned me. The two came one, made three. Come on and set me free. Set me free, why don't you? Let me stop. So it was hard for me, like finding someone who had the capacity to have space for that because I was expanding. I was not shrinking. I wasn't becoming more demure. I wasn't becoming smaller and more delicate. I was becoming more whole. And so wholeness requires more space. And so I've been lucky. I've been blessed to still attract partners. There's still sort of the expectation for me to just kind of like focus on them and prioritize them, which takes me away from what I feel my calling and my work is, and that's modeling wholeness. You know, it looks different on all of us. You know, we all show up differently. Being whole doesn't mean you have to go and physically change your body or physically transition, although I feel like we all transition in some way, fashion, shape, form, or fashion. It doesn't mean that you have to physically change yourself. You know, wholeness looks different on everybody, but modeling the type of wholeness that helps us to end this war where it's like masculinity warring with femininity, you know, sort of like the red and the blue state, you know, which, you know, ironically, red is associated with feminine and blue is associated with masculine, and sometimes blue is associated with feminine and red is associated with masculine. But whatever, you know, however you look at the colors, it's like this war between these two archetypes or these two constructs. And my work is purpleness. You know, that's that purple work, you know, bringing it back together. But then in the middle of the spectrum, as they come together, these two little butterflies with all of their tribe, you can see all of their tribe in them, because each caterpillar like looking being represents another soul, you know, and all the dots represent souls, and so they all got their own little tribes, you know. They're all like, these beings like to be centered in this energy, and these beings like to be centered in that energy, but these beings are moving towards this being, and this being is moving toward that being. You know, when they come together, that's actually a color that they create is purple. And so when they come together, they all can collectively rise together, and they form this big, amazing butterfly. So separately they was doing their thing, but then they came together, honey, and they was on some Voltron-ish. I am in a very good space mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, and I am loving myself right now, and I want to exude that love. I want to manifest a partner that does not feel like there's a prize. And I don't want to have this mentality that I'm the prize. You know, I think that that sort of thinking is what's been wrong with my past relationships. We are the prize. You know, we are each other's prize. We are each other's gift. You know, we will love, honor, and worship each other. We will treasure each other. We'll adore each other. We'll see it for each other. Now, it is taught in the Dogon tribe, especially if you read The Spirit of Intimacy, that beings like ours, our partners, exist on other planes. And I definitely know that's true. I've had partners to cross the divide since I've been alive. I mean, I'm almost 50 years old. So I definitely know that I have partners on the other side, but I also understand that now we're in the age of Aquarius, and being in the age of Aquarius, that means that worlds are colliding. That means that things are merging. That means that everything is coming together. So that means that a portal is opening, honey. And my sunshine has come. And I'm all cried out. Ain't no more rain in this house. I did a longer video on my YouTube channel, but I wanted to come and give y'all the highlights. I am recuperating from surgery. I'm feeling a lot better. And now, it wasn't like a post-op surgery because I did that 10 years ago. You know, this is my anniversary, but this was like a revision to the first surgery so that I can feel more comfortable in my body. Surgery is not for everyone. Just like having children is not for everyone. And just like the creator or the divine needs to be present when you're bringing life here, the divine needs to be present when you're going through that process of coming out of the cocoon and being more of who you see yourself to be in the spirit world. When you bring the being that you see in the spirit world into the physical world, the divine needs to be present. And so it's not just on the surgeons. You have to prepare yourself and be your best self, just like when a being is carrying life. You have to work on yourself and be your best self and prepare yourself for that process. And it's a three-party system. It's the doctors, it's the divine, and it's you. Amen, amen. Love y'all. Have a blessed day. Take care. And just live your life. Hey, but be clear that live is evil spelled backwards, so that means that you're going to miss the mark. That means you're going to go off target. That means that you're not going to always get it right. Don't beat yourself up. Give yourself some grace. Lelem Layla Nation, purple ones, rise up. Period.